Hi guys, Juicy Hunter here. That clown on the background is scary, so I will quickly close that fucking door. There we go. Back. But today I'm talking about ADCing 101, so that's basically for beginners so that they know how to ADC for beginners, how to do it in the game. Maybe some better ADCs will also have some new knowledge about the ADC role or things that you're like, oh yeah, that's true, that's something I should work on. I hope I can literally give some information for everyone. I'm going into itemization in like 2 days, I think. It's scheduled in 2 days. I think I have to actually watch my schedule. But that guy holding that fucking paper with the fucking black cap on forgot to tell that it was in 2 days. He looked at his schedule and he didn't feel like telling you guys, so I'm from the future and I'm telling you now. See you in 2 days. I think it's in 2 days, I'm not sure. Actually watching, yeah, I really have a schedule because I want to upload almost daily, so I hope that that works out for me and that I can get some viewers and subscribers, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just have to upload less. But anyway, in this guide I will probably talk a bit about itemization, but I want to keep that for another topic because it's a really long part. I want to talk about every item possible to build on an ADC and why you should build it, what it does, and maybe help people. I will talk about ADCs that are considered hunter, like no magical damage carries, because Freya, Chronos, yeah, well, obviously my 101 ADC guide also counts for those 3 gods, but they are a bit different, and I will do a different video about the customization of items for them specifically, because obviously you build them different. Because you can't really build the physical damage items because they do magical damage. It's quite obvious, but well, you used to actually be able to do that, so it shouldn't be that crazy. Questions you need to ask yourself, that's like one of the topics we can do when the game begins, what you have to think about, and which items you should start with. Then we are actually, I have to see the script, we're actually going into the early game, mid game, late game, and then objectives, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, like a bit of that. I will get into that a bit later, so we are first going to talk about questions to ask yourself. Well, when the game starts, you're obviously buying items, otherwise you don't know shit about Smite. I don't know why you're watching this video, go away, no, that's not true. You can still watch it, but you're probably not knowing what I'm talking about because you have auto-buy on or whatsoever, but you have to buy items, and there's a lot of variety in items you can build on ADCs. Like, there is no specific build, like if you build this you are guaranteed for success. That doesn't work that way. That's too bad. I wish it worked that way because I would be amazing in ADC, and if it worked that way. You have to kinda know a lot. Like, first of the things you should be wondering about is the god I'm playing mana hungry? What I mean with mana hungry is that his abilities just cost a lot of damage or take a lot of your mana proportion. This is a really important question because certain gods are using a lot of mana, so you maybe want to build MP5 or mana on them. Like Uller is an example. He's my favorite god. He uses a lot of mana. I would never go without Transcendence for him. Well, and being mana hungry doesn't mean you should build MP5 and mana. You can build MP5 and mana. And it's not the only thing you have to wonder about, but because you also have, like, do you use those abilities a lot? Because Ram, if he uses a couple of astral arrows, he goes through his mana pool like that. Just snap, gone. Mana's gone. But he doesn't have to build Transcendence or build mana in this case, because he doesn't have to use that. He used that occasionally. He doesn't really need it to clear the wave. Sometimes he does. So the next question you have to ask yourself is, do I need to use my abilities a lot? To answer this question, you have to ask different questions, like you have to know who's your opponent ADC. Let's say, so is your opponent. He has she has amazing wave clear, and you don't want to get so far behind. So maybe you should use your abilities to make sure that minions don't walk into your tower. And if you won't use your abilities, a lot will walk into your tower, and when they're hit by a tower, you don't get gold for the minions. So all minions hit by a tower don't bring gold. I think this is like a thing a lot of people know, but still I want to clarify that you don't get money for minions hit by towers, or money gold. So gold, rest in peace gold, like you don't get it. So you have to wonder about, do you want to be dominant in lane? Or even better, who's your opponent ADC? Like I said, Soul has huge clear. Also where you should be wondering about, what's your opponent's support? Like, is it a Sylvanas? Because he will push you all the way in your tower just by himself. Like, he will just, I don't know. You should use your abilities against Sylvanas if you don't want to get completely outcleared. If you like, sometimes you also have to wonder about your playstyle. How am I going to play this game? Am I a really great aggressive ADC? Like, is my matchup so good in lane that I can actually pressure him that much that I can get pressure? Am I going to be really aggressive? Am I going to be poking him? Am I going to just sit back and farm because I'm a really late game ADC? I'm a Rama, for example, and I just want to make it to late game. Am I going to just sit back, lose a couple of gold? Who cares? In the late game, I will wreck you anyway. That's like a mindset you can totally have. And some games, to be honest, I think like that. I just think I'm a Rama. I want to get to late game. It's completely fine. Just push that 3 minions into tower. I don't really care. Once the support starts rotating, I will contest the minion waves. I will actually try to outpush you the moment my support leaves. So yeah, well, and then there is the question, are you going to deal poke? Because poke can cost mana if you have to use your abilities for that. Well, and as an ADC, you poke like a lot. You keep yeah, new language, guys. Continuously, you are poking with your basics or with your abilities like Uller a lot too. But when do you actually do it? Like, if you feel that you aren't losing anything at all to when you're exchanging poke, because like wait a second, I am actually swapping my page because I'm actually like really prepared for this video. I have like 3 pages on paper. So if you think you have like hard pressure and you're not losing any pressure or are not getting out pressured by the enemy ADC without like losing your pressure whatsoever, you should just deal that poke because it's free, right? Why won't you do it? Like, just poke them, throw that X at him, throw his 3, his 1, unrepulse his pillar out, throw a couple of basics, impale them eventually if he can, whatever. Just poke them. But you have to keep in mind, like, minions do damage. A lot of people are like, dude, I fucking know that already. I know you fucking know that, but a lot of people still lose engages just by that couple of basic attacks. Because if like 4 minions, I think they do something around 12 damage. I don't completely know, not completely sure how much damage they do. But I think if 4 minions hit you once, that's 1 basic attack from the enemy ADC. What if you needed that 1 basic attack and he's 1 HP? Fuck that. That's not something you want. So you have to understand that minions are OP, man. Minions can be really devastating and OP. And before aggressing, you should take out that archers, or you have to be really sure you can take the kill really quick. also you need to have like a lot of knowledge about the enemy support and ADC again, so that you know how much poke you can like get in return. Because most of the times, not always, because if the enemy ADC is still clearing his lane, he probably can't poke you back. But while you're exchanging poke, because that's what you're doing like quite a lot of times, you will get poked in return. So you have to know, is the trade worth it? Am I actually dealing more poke than the enemy? Sometimes it's really hard to say, because sometimes you just have to trust yourself that you're just going to hit him with one more basic attack than he is going to hit you. Because you have to be always confident on your lane. If you're not confident, don't play ADC, because you have to be confident every game. Like, that's a huge thing. What the fuck's wrong with my hair? That's a huge thing for me. Hello, hair. What you doing? Anyway, that's something that is what really grinds my mind, is that people don't expect poke. And when I am losing a game and I'm trying another game, I often lose that game just because of the mindset I go into the next game. If we lose a scrim as a team, I actually am a bit more insecure the next time I play against the ADC. I'm like, oh, damn it, that guy was really good, there's no way I can beat him, and then I'm just not even contesting with the poke, and he's just out poking me, and it goes downwards like that. So you have to be confident every game. You need to know when the enemy's abilities are up. So once again, you need that knowledge about, is the gap shield up right now? Because if I stun him, there will be a shield. I can't use my 3, I can't use my 1, I can't do anything because it won't do damage. It's just a waste of mana, I don't want to do that. So also, when the support has a heal, why would you poke them, right? Why would you poke them if they're healing it up? So you need to either keep continuously poking. I really hate that fucking word. I'm not English and I can't really pronounce that word. But if you continuously be poking, you have to be poking a real lot against the Gu and Yu or Sylvanas, because they are healing it up. You have to poke them every single wave. And you have to poke them more than that they heal for, and that's really hard. So most times in that game, I'm just sitting back, enjoying the early game till the supports are rotating, and then I'm going to try to force something out with the enemy ADC. So, if your conclusion is that you're poking a lot, you need your abilities, and you're playing a mana expensive god, it's a good idea to actually start that Transcendence. Transcendence is like a really good item right now. It's a stacking item, it gives you mana, it gives you damage, it gives you a lot. It's just a really good item. But if you don't need that mana, you might actually choose for a Death Stool and go into Boots or rush into Devourer's Gauntlet. It's up to you. Devourer's Gauntlet has stacks, has lifesteal. Boots gives you the mobility and penetration, I think, on the warrior tabby. So that's also a really valuable option. It's up to you. I really like that for Devourer's Gauntlet, but it's really not. Like, there's so much to go through that I actually want to make a different video about that. So I want to be a bit quicker because we are already at 13 minutes. That's quite a lot. Well, early game. In the laning phase, you're just clearing and farming and exchanging poke and potentially making abuse from the enemy's mistakes. If an honor jumps into you, aggressive, and you still have your archers or whatsoever, you can just plug him, stun him, do whatever, plug him. That's what I said, because maybe you have a Sobek support, I don't know. Whatever you have, like, there's probably something from CC in your duo lane. If not, you should really look at your drafting phase, probably. You should be looking to last hit minions, because a lot of people do know it, maybe some don't. Last hit on minions gives you more gold, and a slight lead can quickly become a giant lead if that wins you the 1v1. If, for example, even 50 gold, right, can get you so far ahead, and you're like, where are you on about wards, man? Wards. All about the wards. Wards? Yeah, wards. If you place a ward, you can see the counter, the rotation come in you know that they're coming, your team know they're coming, and you can have a big gank on the duo lane, you can start the Gold Fury after, and then from that point on you have a serious lead and you can just win every 1v1 and keep bullying that lane. Also, the moment your support rotate, you're just still looking to farm for its last minions. Maybe you're building stacks, definitely get those last hits. Early game, laning phase, yeah, it's just not that hard. You have to continuously poke. You have to know when to freeze lanes, because a lot of people know about the freezing in the middle of the lane, right? People are like, fuck it, we are just freezing it right here. You're low, you have to come here, we will kill you. And the enemy ADC is just like, okay, I can play this game, I will wait, I'll just stay in tower. And then after 1 or 2 waves, the enemy ADC is like, yeah, I don't know about this, let's just push this wave, man, because like it's really boring to do nothing, to be fair. You're just last hitting the minions, but it's so fucking boring. But well, that's a thing. Also, what a lot of people don't do is when you're really getting aggressed on, why don't freeze the wave defensively? That makes the enemy actually pushed up more forward. This is something you can be looking for. Don't say you don't. You can like defensively freeze the wave like around your tower, just slightly outside of that. Stand up after the archers, so that they have to push up, and then maybe look for a gank. So to bait a gank, actually, that could work, could be really nice to see as well. So that's something you can be looking for. Also, it's really important to know how your mid laner is doing. Is your mid laner really winning lane, or is he pushed back? Because if he is pushed back, there can be a potential gank from your side of the jungle. So, like, we have defensive wards and offensive wards. For me, that's like the downside where you ward and the upside where you ward. If you don't know warding places, I can make a video about that. Don't know if it's really necessary, but I don't know, we will see. So keep in mind how other lanes are doing, because that can influence your lane. A lot of people are like, oh fuck mid, like you should have called it. But if you know your mid is like really pushed back and they're losing lane, you can expect that rotation to come defensively. Also, wards are really important, so if your mid is really offensive, you can ward offensively. Is your mid playing really defensive because he's getting outcleared whatsoever, you can ward it defensively, because the enemy is probably looking to rotate through the enemy your jungle. Like, you have the enemy jungle, your jungle, it's like split in half, and they're rotating through your jungle. If you're really offensively and your mid laner is winning lane, I would actually go for the offensive ward. You need to, every time you back, you need one ward unless you can finish an item. Well, knowledge is power. That's basically a thing I want to say. Like, you have to continuously know what is up, what is down. You need to know the timers. I'm actually going to make a video about this, from dual lane to the camps, how long it will take to get there, so that you approximately know if you can make it. So I need to find out what the times between minion waves are and the times you need to go to the back harpies, the back boars, or the mid camps, so that I can tell you when to rotate. I will make a more like in-depth video about this, but for now, just remember, sometimes you can rotate. You have to like see for yourself, think if you lose any creeps over it, think if it's worth to rotate to backs, to mids, to damage, to whatever. Just make sure you make those rotations and get the lead, because the lead is really important. Then we are talking about the mid game. The mid game, still farming your brains out, still exchanging poke with the enemy ADC. But you're actually looking towards objectives now. Gold Furies, maybe invading their damage buff. There will be a lot of team fights around the Gold Fury, maybe in the jungle. You might be needed to help there. And then we, maybe you can get your teammate out of trouble. You are looking for rotations, but you have to make the right ones, because if you get nothing out of it and your ADC, what the fuck is wrong with my hair? And your ADC is just constantly farming, you're getting behind, and if you're getting behind, fuck it. So in the late game, your team should be way more grouped, almost all the time, and you're just looking for objectives, picking off enemies by their mistakes, positioning, or either forcing team fights into Fire Giant, Gold Fury, whatever. You're, as an ADC, basically in the team fight, you're constantly trying to poke enemies, which can get really quick. Like if you get 2 crits off, that could be 1200 damage or something. Could be more. Could be actually way more, depending on the god you play. If your god is a CC god, use it well. If you play Uller, hit that X. If you're playing Honor, hit that Impale. If you're playing Honor, place that Pillar. Make sure in team fights you don't, and I say this really well, you don't chase 1 HPs. I do that all the time. Like, don't understand, it's so tempting to get a 1 HP, but your team is actually fighting another fight there. The enemy has threats as well, and they're collapsing at your entire team, and your team needs you there. Make advantage of the fact that that guy is so low he can't actually be in the fight anymore. Just let him go, turn around to a next enemy and fuck them over. Like, just turn right to another enemy right away. Don't really focus on one target. Just make sure you do the damage to the right target. This is really hard, but maybe I will do more a depth video about team fighting as well. So objectives, right? Sometimes you will go into a tower because you're 5v3 and you just want to push it down. Focus the tower. Stop fucking going for the kills, because a lot of people go for the kills. If you're really sure that you can get a kill in 2 seconds, do it. Go back to the tower. Get that tower down. Take that objective. Like, at the end, the kills don't win games, but the objectives do, right? Everyone knows that. Objectives bring the money. Kills do too, and gives you a lead, which makes it more easy to take objectives. But make sure you focus that objective. Get that tower down. Like, I think this was it. This was my guide. I hope I really helped you guys. I think this was really in depth. I will maybe put my content online because I wrote it all down, so maybe you can read it. Let me know if you want this. Thanks for watching. I hope you hit that subscribe button. I hope you learned something, and see you later.